All right, Knicks fans, I need you to sit down for this one. Actually, before you do, hit that like button right now, because what I'm about to break down is going to make you feel something, and I want this video in front of as many Knicks fans as humanly possible today. Let's rewind for a second. We just watched this franchise win an NBA championship. Banner, parade, the whole thing. And if there's one moment that's already burned into Knicks history forever, it's that rebound in Game 5. You know the one. The ball comes off the rim, chaos everywhere, and out of nowhere Mitchell Robinson goes up and rips it away like it personally owed him money. That single possession swung the entire series. That's not an opinion. That's just what happened. So naturally, you'd think a guy who just gave you the biggest offensive play in a decade would be a king in this city forever, right? Wrong. Robinson is gone. He walked in free agency and signed a 3-year deal with, of all teams, the Boston Celtics. I need you to comment below right now and tell me how you felt when you first heard that news, because I guarantee it wasn't calm. And look, I get it. This is the business side of basketball. Players leave. That's the league. But there is something uniquely painful about watching a guy who fought for years to even get consistent minutes, who battled through injuries, who was the longest tenured player left on this championship roster, walk out the door to sign with a rival that has been a thorn in this franchise's side for literal generations. Boston, of all places, it stings different. Knicks Twitter did not handle this well, and honestly, I don't think they should have to. There's a viral reaction going around from a die-hard Knicks supporter who basically summed up the entire fan base's mood in one line. Something along the lines of being happy for Mitch personally getting paid, but finding the whole situation deeply, deeply strange. And that's the vibe. Nobody's mad at Robinson for taking a bag. Everybody's mad that the front office let this version of history happen at all. Then Boston twisted the knife a little further. They announced Robinson is going to wear number 4 in a Celtics uniform. Now stop and think about that for a second. In New York, he wore 23. 23 on a championship team, with that rebound attached to it. There's a very real chance that number gets treated like sacred ground at the Garden for years, maybe decades, and the guy who made it mean something is now wearing a completely different digit 200 miles up the road in enemy territory. If that doesn't sum up the chaos of this offseason, I don't know what does. Now, let's talk replacement plan, because the front office didn't just sit on their hands here. To fill that hole in the front court, the Knicks brought in veteran big man Andre Drummond on a 1-year deal. And look, before you panic, let's actually talk about who this guy is, because I think a lot of people are sleeping on this move. Drummond's been in the league for 14 years. 14. He came out of UConn after one college season, averaging around 10 points a game on a team that actually got bounced early in the tournament that year, and somehow he still ended up a top 10 pick going to the Detroit Pistons. Since then, the guy has rebounded basically everywhere he's been. He spent his most recent 2 seasons with the Philadelphia 76ers before landing with New York. This isn't a guy off the street. This is a rebounding specialist with real size and real experience stepping into a role that requires exactly that. And here's the part that actually matters strategically. With Karl Anthony Towns anchoring the starting center spot, Robinson's whole job last year was coming off the bench, cleaning the glass, and giving KD a breather when the minutes piled up. That's it. That's the role. And when Towns got into foul trouble in that Game 5 moment, guess who was the guy who stepped up and delivered the play of the postseason? So replacing that specific skill set matters way more than casual fans might think. And Drummond, on paper, profiles as a very reasonable fit for exactly that job. Now let's talk money, because this is where James Dolan actually, and I cannot believe I'm saying this sentence, kept his word. Dolan said heading into this offseason that ownership would not push this roster over the luxury tax line, and love him or hate him. That's exactly what happened. They held the line financially. Was it a clean, easy process? Absolutely not. Losing a key piece off a title-winning core never is. But management threaded the needle here, keeping the vast majority of this championship group intact while only losing one true rotation piece, and structuring the Drummond signing in a way that didn't blow up the books. Say what you want about ownership in this city, but that a genuinely disciplined off-season on the financial side. So where does that leave us? A championship roster that's 90% still standing, a new veteran big man with real pedigree stepping into a clearly defined role, and one franchise legend now wearing green up in Boston with a rebound that will live in Knicks lore forever. I'm not going to pretend this doesn't hurt, because it does. But I also refuse to pretend the front office panicked here, because they didn't. I want to know where you land on this. Drop a comment right now. Tell me if you're at peace with losing Robinson for a title, or if this one's going to sting all season long every single time Boston pops up on the schedule. And if this breakdown gave you something to think about, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel get in front of more Knicks fans who need to see takes like this. Comment section is open. I'm reading everything. Let's talk about it.